Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. I wanted to be on here yesterday, but I had to do some work and I had to go someplace, almost like an hour and a half drive. And by the time I got back last night, it was like close to 7. All I could do was eat dinner and rest for an hour and go to bed. So here I am today. I'm here with you all today, and I hope everyone is doing well on this Thursday, cloudy afternoon. So thank you all for your support and for being here today. The topic of discussion today is do not allow grief to cloud your judgment. We're going to get into that conversation in a few minutes. But what I wanted to say before starting that topic is people will rate you, hate you. People will rate you, berate you, or hate you. Never allow anyone to pass judgment on you. People will do these things if you let them. Cast their own judgment, play God in your life, try to tell you what you should do and what you should not be doing. And it's up to God, it's not up to anybody else. As long as you're in your lane, you're not hurting other people, you're healing, you're providing positivity and adding that instead of taking away, then don't worry about the rest. I leave all of that in God's hands and I keep standing on this path here, moving forward. And that's what I want to talk about first. Rewarding yourself. I have an outline here so I don't forget the things that I want to talk about today. Because sometimes I may forget, and then after I do the video, I say, "Oh wow, I forgot that." So don't worry if I look away. I have a small outline. What I want to talk about is rewarding yourself, especially when you have to get up and do things that you don't feel like doing because your grief is kicking in. And I know what that's like because in the beginning, in my days when the grief was fairly new and it was just tearing me up, it was difficult to even get up in the morning. And in a lot of ways, guys, I am so glad that we were in a shutdown because if I had to go to work under those circumstances, I don't think I would have been able to do it because the grief was so deep and was so overwhelming is the word I can use here, is that it took like everything for me to just get out of bed. And if you're going through that, believe me, I know what that's like. And I talk about it all the time because even if you feel like that, get up anyway. Even if it takes you longer to get ready and to get up and whatever, if it takes you longer than usual, that's okay, as long as you make that effort. And once you get up, and even if you do one thing out of your busy schedule that you're supposed to be doing other things, even if you get one thing accomplished, reward yourself for that because it took everything within you to get up to do that one particular thing that you had to do. And when you're under grief, it makes it that much harder. It's even more difficult. So reward yourself and pat yourself on the back when you get certain things done, when you accomplish certain things, because it's not easy when you're grieving to accomplish things. And know this, and I'm talking from experience. Like I always say, I'm not a certified therapist of any sort, but I'm speaking from a person who lost a lot of loved ones during a shutdown. A lot of people in my life, 10 people to be exact, including my mother and my dog. And it took everything for me to get up because I didn't want to. In the beginning, I stayed in bed. But we were in a shutdown, so no one was working. At that time, we were just going out to get our groceries and come back in because you know how that was. And I was in some ways thankful for that because I couldn't do anything else because the grief was overwhelming. But those who are going through that beginning stages of the grief, because your emotions are going to be triggered all over the place. And in the beginning, it's hard for you to control that. I had no control over it. Just, you know, force yourself to get up, even to do one thing. And after you do it, like I said, reward yourself with something you like, that favorite ice cream, or that favorite show you want to watch, or getting yourself some flowers, or whatever it is, music, or whatever it is that brings joy to you. Reward yourself in that manner. And do not be too hard on yourself, because we all are human here. And, you know, the loss takes a toll on our physical and mental health. And we have to take care of that, because if you don't take care of your physical and mental health, people, then you have nothing to give to yourself or to anyone else. So that is a priority. Please make that a priority. That's so important. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. What really helped me and forced me, I should say, to get on the path of healing. Last year, early part, no, it wasn't last year, it was the year before. Yeah, I was dating someone. When I was heavy in my grief, I decided to date. And, it was just, when you're grieving heavy, a cloud can be over you and you don't see things clearly as you would if you were not in that grief, and sometimes you have to be careful of that. And I'm going to give this example through this story. Um, I was dating someone temporarily for a little while, and you know, it seemed good in the beginning. But what happened, the worst type of diabolical deception that I've encountered in my life. I mean, really diabolical. And it was so hurtful that I said, God, I can't take it anymore. I just can't do this. I reached out to God. I pleaded with him to help me, because I can't do this. Along with everything else that I was going through, and then all these deaths and all this situation, and then dealing with this, and it just got to a point where I just couldn't deal. And God really brought me out of this. I'm telling you, people, if it wasn't for God, I don't think I would be here to do any of this. And he said, yes, you can do this, Lisa. And he started to help me, because I'm by myself going through all this stuff. And that was just the straw that broke the camel's back, because it was just really horrific situation. And it took everything within me. It was so horrific that I had to go within. Excuse me. I had to go within, deep within, in order to heal this, and stay in prayer and meditation, deep prayer meditation, talking to God, even talking to my Passover loved ones. And I don't know if people believe in that, but I know they are there to help me, because this is something that I cannot do in human form by myself. And I started to make baby steps with this, and it was hard. And that's why I tell you guys, music is everything to me, because that's a way I healed myself as well. Besides prayer, meditation, and then watching positive videos, and doing positive verbal affirmations, daily. But before I even got to that point, it was music and prayer all the time. And I had to stay in there, in that, like, fasting stage, and music, and to get myself through this. And then this particular person, like I said, I refer to person because I don't want to give names, etc., and details, because that's not the purpose of this. The purpose is to share a little bit of this to help somebody who may be privately going through this, so that they know they're not the only one. It's not a game of tag you're it. We all have gone through something. And if I can share this and someone can listen, and it can inspire and help them to move forward, then I have done what I have set out to do here. Getting back to that, so what the situation was is that after this huge deception was done, then this person tried to come back to reconcile. Reconcile what? Are you kidding me? But by the time they tried to come back to reconcile this, time has gone by 5 months or so. And I had really started to work on myself and look in the mirror and say, Lisa, why are you allowing this? Because the old Lisa was still present and being subservient, making excuses for people where there should not have been any excuses, especially under these circumstances. Giving people the benefit of the doubt when they should not even have that because of the diabolical deception. And it was done deliberately and it was done viciously and to hurt me. And I'm like looking back, and I had never done anything for this person to do this. If I deserve it, so be it, but I didn't, because I'm not that type of person to sit and premeditate evil against somebody else. That's not who I am. I'm always in a place of love and light, and there's times where I'm human, and now I'm not just only in a place of love and light. I will defend myself against negativity. And one of the ways I do it after coming out of prayer, listening to music, trying to communicate with others. And if that doesn't work, cut off, block, and delete. That's what I do. I don't have time for it. And when I cut off, block, and delete, there's no reconciling, because that meant that I've done everything within my power to try to resolve whatever this is. But this was just horrific. And I was just stunned when this person tried to re enter my life. Reconcile what? Are you kidding me? Block, cut off, delete. And I mean that. And because I don't act out of character and use a lot of profanity and get crazy, I don't have to do that. All I have to do is mean what I say and walk in that, what I said. And that's it. And this took everything within me, along with the grief and all this. And I was saying to God, why me? Why me? But I think what this was is God showing me, Lisa, you got to stand up for yourself, because all your life you've been bullied. All your life you've been subservient to other people, giving people the benefit of the doubt when they didn't deserve it, when some of them didn't deserve it. Putting other people's needs before my own needs, because afraid of losing people out of my life. But they didn't deserve to be there in the first place. I had to learn how to self-love me, because if I don't love myself, what am I going to give to somebody else? What are they going to give to me? What you put out there in that universe is what you're going to get back. What you manifest, good or bad, is coming back to you. That's how this works. And I didn't understand fully. And I had to learn to give myself self-love. In order to do that, people, I had to go within, deep within, look in a mirror. What's missing in my life? What happened to me? Nurturing that inner child and saying to myself daily, I am worth it. It doesn't matter what other people think. They're other people. They're irrelevant to the situation. Because if I don't love on myself, what do I have to give to anybody else or to me? And it's important. Tell yourself you are important. And it's important that you love yourself as well, even though you're going through grief, trials, and tribulations. That's okay. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Turn that pain into a purpose. Turn that pain into power. Show people you're not weak. And one of the things I had to learn, that people thought because I was kind and considerate and generous and mild mannered, that they thought I was dumber than a rock. There's nothing dumb about me at all. And I had to show people, as I start to build myself up and have self-love, I am worth it. And when people started with this toxicity, I'm going to bring it to your attention. Let's talk about it. Why is this happening, etc. And then if they continue with that toxicity, I'm going to cut off, block, and delete, walk away, leave you in the hands of God, because I have no space or time for it in my life. And I had to learn to do that. Stand up for myself. Even when I would talk to my therapist, he wouldn't use the words stand up for yourself. He would say implement boundaries, set boundaries. That's it. And I started to do that. And I was scared to do that at first, because people are going to feel some kind of way or whatever. But, as I start to love me, I didn't care what they felt, because this is what it is. This boundary is going to be set. You keep crossing it, it's over. Like someone would, for example, show up at my house, knock on my door, wasn't invited, unexpected, uninvited. You don't do that. How I grew up, you don't do that. That's the ultimate disrespect. You just don't show up. You text and say, "Can I come over?" A phone call, something. And I had to say, "Look, this is not okay." When they continue to do that and do other stuff, cut off, block, and delete. Because we're adults. You're not a kid that we have to keep telling something over and over again. Cut off, block, and delete. I have no time for adults who want to act like 2 year olds. And I'm very serious about this path of healing. It is important for my physical and mental health. People can tell people I'm crazy, I'm nuts, whatever. But Jesus said you would know them by their fruits in the Bible. And I'm not here to preach, but I'm saying this for a specific reason. How a person is, look at their life, look at how they are and what they're doing, and look at the gossip that people are circulating, and look at the life of the person that they are gossiping about, before you start to go and believe lies and deception, etc. I'm not on here to bring any glory or praise to myself, but to share my experience to help others, because you can heal. You never get over the grief, because you're always going to feel that emptiness inside, because those loved ones or that particular loved one is no longer here and they brought something great to your life. But you can keep their spirit alive through storytelling. Never forget them. Say what they brought to your life. I always talk about my mom and dog and et cetera, and the friends I lost to my therapist, and whoever would listen, because I keep my mom's spirit alive by doing that, and knowing that she would never want me to be in depression for the rest of my life because she's no longer here. And I fought little by little. It's going to take time, people. Nothing venture is nothing gain, and it doesn't happen overnight. Baby steps. And each step that you take and you make progress, reward yourself. And then go on and then talk to yourself about how you're going to reward yourself. I'm looking forward to that nice piece of cake or whatever it is, taking that bubble bath with candles, whatever, buying that nice outfit, etc. Because it's going to make you feel better little by little. As you feel better, you get better. And as you get better, you grow. And as you grow, you start to heal. There is no growth. There is no expansion. There's nothing if you're not healing. Because if you're not healing, you're stuck. You're in a place of stagnation. And you can't stay there, because that stagnation will eventually lead to deep depression, which can lead to suicidal thoughts. We don't want any of that there, because now that's in the danger zone. So it's important to get yourself connected to a therapist in your area. You can Google it, look up different ones, and connect with one that you vibe with. And then you go from there. And there are also bereavement groups. You're going to hear a lot of stories from other people who are going through the same type of grief, because grief comes in different shape and form. The emotions you're going to feel may be something you've never felt before to that extreme. I know I didn't. And it was difficult to control, because the grief would happen, especially in the beginning when I'm out, when we start to go back to work after the shutdown lifted. And there's times that I was overwhelmed with it. And I had to learn how to control that. One of the ways is just being in prayer, just doing things that I didn't feel like doing, even if I did one thing, rewarding myself. What do I need to do now to feel better? And most importantly, my therapist will always have the conversation with me. How would your mother feel if you stayed in a place of grief, dealing with depression day in and day out, and your life is just being a life of pain and unhappiness? She wouldn't want that. And he was exactly right. And for those listening to this video today, the Passover loved one that you lost, they would never want you to be in a place of pain for the rest of your life and unhappiness. They want you to eventually move on and be happy, embrace life to the fullest. Life is already short as it is. Embrace it, and take care of yourself, your physical and mental health. That's so important. And remove toxic situations from your life. If you see there's an ongoing toxicity, set boundaries, is what I should say. Me, myself, I remove it. If I have a conversation, like I said, and it doesn't resolve it, I just remove it. But set boundaries. That's important. And know this also. As you know, you those who believe in God, and you know that God is helping you and blessing you as you do better and you reach out to Him. Remember, if God gives you a gift, a blessing of some sort, know that nobody can take those blessings for you. They could try, but God is not going to give you something for somebody to snatch away. Perfect example is I was watching the movie Samson. You know, people talk about Samson, Goliath. I said Goliath. Oh my God, Delilah. Sorry, guys, Samson and Delilah. And you know that Samson's strength was in his hair. The longer his hair grew, the more his strength was. No one knew that but him and God and his family, of course. And when he met Delilah, you know, she lured him in, and she was paid some coins, you know, to find out where his strength. Because a lot of people, you know, the opposition wanted his gifts, but God gave Samson those gifts, and then God surely wasn't going to let other people take his gifts. So when he met Delilah and he started to fall for her, and you know he fell asleep, she cut his hair off, and now his strength was in his hair, and he was weak, and the Philistines came in, and you know the rest of the story, what happened to him. But he revealed to her where his strength was, which he should have kept that to himself. She would have never been able to help defeat him in that manner. He was never really defeated, but he would have never been in that predicament if he didn't share that situation. So my point is, you have any um, things that's going good in your life and you're happy about it, sometimes it's important not to share your business with other people, because you don't know who you're sharing with. Because everybody's not going to be happy for you. Like when you're healing and now you're feeling better and you're able to do this and that, and these good things are happening in your life, and you go share them because you're so happy about it. Not everybody's going to be happy for you. So be careful who you share your good things and blessings with, because everyone is not going to be happy for you. One of the things I had to also learn is that people wanting to control my life. That cloud I had over me with that heavy, what should I say? Not depression, but grief, the heavy grief that I had over my life. You know, I had a cloud there as well because I wasn't seeing clearly, that people were entering my life trying to control me, trying to play God in my life, trying to tell me when to get up, when to eat, when to do this, don't do that. They wanted to have, uh, you know, control over all of my life and everything that I do. And I was submitting to that in a way, on you know, and not paying attention that this is what their strategy was. This is ulterior motive, and never ever give your power to anybody else. So I had to, as I started to heal and do the work that my therapist was giving me, and music, like I said, prayer, music, meditation. As I started to do those things regularly, and I do it daily now, um, I learned, wait a minute, this person is trying to control me and do this and that. I would have those conversations, whatever, and the people, those particular individuals were still trying to do it, cut off, block, and delete. I pull my power back, my energy, cut off, block, and delete, because now you don't have my energy at all. And I had to learn how to do this. And this is not being mean or nasty. This is self preservation for me, you know, so that I don't have to deal with that, you know. And it just, and I'm sharing this with you guys because this is what I had to do. You know, never sell yourself short to anyone. Always know that you are worth it, you know. And self love on yourself doesn't mean to be in love with yourself or be arrogant. No, always be humble, but self love yourself. You are a priority. Your mental and physical health is a priority over anything else. If no one else can understand that, that's their issue, that's their problem. It's not your problem. Because excuse me, as I said, if you don't take care of yourself, your physical and mental health, then you're no good to yourself or no one else. And that's the bottom line here. So look at your surroundings and watch everything that's going on around you. I'm going to tell you another story here. This is a while back. I watched Whoopi Goldberg was narrating a show that used to come on called The Kind, and this this was a story about one in particular that really caught my attention that I watched is this woman who her husband had passed away, and she was really grieving hard because they have been married 20 years plus, and she was grieving hard. After a year or so, she met this man, and this man was a con artist, and he was a professional artist. He had done this to a whole lot of women, state from state, going and conning women out of their money, and he got her to trust him. He was this charming Prince Charming, and she fell in love with him because she thought he was everything that he wasn't. It was a facade, and then he got engaged to her, and it said he was in real estate. And as she began to trust him, what he did is told her he had to make some kind of investment, and he talked her into investing $100,000 of her money into some phony BS investment that never existed. And what she did, she allowed it because he told her within a week or so that she would make money on that money and he would have her money back in her account. She did this, and then the next scene, you see her waking up in the middle of the night. Like her intuition had kicked in. I don't know if it kicked in before, but mine would have surely kicked in a long time ago. Somebody asking me for some money. I don't care who it is. My intuition would have been on fire, but hers kicked in at that time. And then what happened is that she said, "Oh my God," she woke up like in the middle of the night. She reached for her cell phone, called his number. Guess what, people? This number has been disconnected. No further information on this number. She knew she was it's over with. And he went to another state, did this to another woman. And at the end of this show, he had done this to 14 women. 14 women this man had did this to. And this is why I said it's always important to take your time, be careful. Any documents that you sign, read. I don't care if it's on page 4 in a corner and you need a magnifying glass to read it, because that might make a difference between you signing a document or not. Know what you're signing, know what you're getting into. And that's why I take my time with relationships or anything that I do, because people will say, to be impulsive. I'm not impulsive. The only thing I may be impulsive with is food. Yeah, well, but anything else, I'm not really impulsive. I take my time with. And if a person don't want that, then they don't want to deal with me. And that's how I live my life with everything I do now. I'm very self-disciplined because I've been through certain things that people don't know I've been through. And once I go through those situations, I learn the lessons and move on. So that is the message here today. Please pay attention to your surroundings. And if you get weird emails or something sounds too good to be true, 9 times out of 10 it is. Question it, look deeper before you allow yourself to get involved. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching. Share this video with other people, especially those who are going through grief, who need to hear the message. Please share it. And hit that subscribe button, like, and send me comments on just how your day is going and the things that you're doing to take care of your mental health. Thank you for being here. This is Lisa's Love and Light, and I will see you again in a day or so. Bye for now.